This is a very, very important question, because how do we know that the translations that we read today in Holy Scripture, or the Bible, resemble the original manuscripts? Over the centuries, some have claimed that scribal errors were intruding, and then there were copies of the errors, and those got exaggerated so that today we don't have much resembling what the original manuscripts were like. Well, this argument is faulty. In fact, it's totally wrong. This was demonstrated in 1947 when the famous Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered. And in the caves at Qumran and along the Dead Sea where they were discovered, they found a scroll of Isaiah that was 250 years old, even in Jesus' day. This was a thrilling discovery because now it gave biblical scholars a chance to compare the writing, the text of Isaiah from 250 BC with the earliest manuscript version we have of Isaiah, which is the so-called Masoretic text from the 11th century AD. Now there was a 1,350-year span against which to check the accuracy of the biblical manuscripts as they were recopied. The result? 99.8% exactly the same language.
Deep in the heart of the Judean wilderness, on the edge of the Dead Sea, in a place called Qumran, came some of the most significant artifacts of modern times, the Dead Sea Scrolls. For 2 millennia, the Dead Sea Scrolls lay hidden in 11 caves throughout the Qumran area. Their discovery marked the biggest archaeological find of the 20th century. To learn more, we hiked up to one of those 11 caves with Stephen Fawn, founder of the University of the Holy Land and an expert on the Dead Sea Scrolls. And why are they so important to us today?
The reason why the Dead Sea Scrolls are important is because they confirm the Bible that we have. There's variants, but basically you can hardly tell the difference between the two texts that we have in Qumran and in our own Bibles.
The scrolls provide a 2,000-year-old link between the scriptures during the time of Jesus and today.
Because we can actually hold the same scrolls in our hands that they held in their hands 2,000 years ago. And when somebody sits there with their New Testament and their Bibles in the United States and they're listening to their favorite sermon, they can know that this Bible was based upon manuscripts that people held in their hands from 2,000 years ago.
Now, for the first time since 1967, the original scroll of Isaiah, perhaps the most significant part of the entire discovery, is on display at the Israel Museum.
We thought that the best way to honor the State of Israel is to bring back this major treasure of the Jewish nation for the celebration of the 6th anniversary of the country.
It's hard to overstate the amazing coincidence that this mass of scrolls were discovered around the same time, in the same month that the State of Israel was proclaimed and was founded here in the land again.
Reutman explains why the scroll of Isaiah holds a special significance for Christians.
We have only one instance in all the Gospels that actually we have Jesus reading from a scroll, as in the Gospel of Luke chapter 4, that on Shabbat and Saturday in Nazareth, he was given the book of Isaiah, and he read from the book the famous passage in Isaiah chapter 61.
The words Jesus quoted from Isaiah 61 were, "The Spirit of the Lord is on me, because he has anointed me to preach good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim freedom for the prisoners and recovery of sight for the blind, to release the oppressed, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor." 2,000 years ago, the Isaiah scroll and many others were hidden in the caves near Qumran. 2,000 years later, the scrolls still speak to us today. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Qumran.